Good afternoon, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. My name's Priscilla. Heather is my co host, and today we have the wonderful Allie Martin from Heart and Soul Connected.
Thank you, Lee.
Yay! Thank
Thank
you
you. We
so
haven't
much
been
for
together for
being.
a while, and I've missed you.
I know it's been way too long. We didn't do much over this summer. We did
Yeah, well, you have a
minimal
lot
with
going
all the
on.
packing and moving and all this crazy stuff we had going on. But
Yeah,
we're
and then
back
the
into it.
surgeries. I mean, it was just medical and physical moving, and
It was
Absolutely.
crazy.
Well,
was.
as I said to you earlier, Heather, you look fabulous. I'm so glad that you're doing so well. You just look radiant. So there you go. Yeah.
Yay. That's always nice to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen. How are you? And Mary
Yeah. And Mousy Girl's
and
here.
Mousy
Lots
Girl.
of people.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here today. We're going to talk about autumn and what autumn means to us. And we'll be interested in hearing what autumn means to you guys. So, in
Mhm.
the chat room, we always encourage chat participation. And if you want to make a comment, please put it in caps because we're all crones and we have glasses.
We don't want to miss it.
We don't want to
Right.
miss your important things. So
Yeah.
Especially
please.
since I need new glasses.
Oh, I
Uh-huh.
love it. Let me. Okay, here we go. I even have a little banner. All caps and emojis would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Starfish, how are you doing?
And Jenny.
She
And
says
Frog.
happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
Foxy,
Yes, related.
Foxy and
Roxy
Juanita's
Roxy here.
review.
Yeah.
All kinds of people popping in. Yay.
Thank you.
So, did you guys actually pull a card for the show today? I didn't. I
No, I
forgot
didn't,
to.
but I
I
can
was
do it right
waiting.
now.
I
Why don't
can
we
just
pull a
really
card for the
easily.
show today while people are popping in?
Sure. Ooh.
It's my favorite time of the year, Jo.
Well, I pulled the Empress.
Oh, of
Sweet.
course you did.
Of course I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to take action. The power of creativity. Success that allows for a life of luxury.
Mm.
Sweet.
Yeah. And that goes with the cards that I pulled this morning for me. So
Excellent. So, hi, Annie Bear and Jo. It's nice to see you here. So many beautiful women, honestly. All right. So, when babies are born with this on their heads, they call it a caul.
Yes.
Caul. Yes. I
Uh-huh.
pulled the caul, which means
Huh.
healer, seer, priestess, and soul purpose. So, this is from the
Sweet.
healing waters, and we're all doing that. We are all leaning into our purpose for being here and healing each other, being able to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
born. We were born for this. There you go. How
We
beautiful.
were born for this.
Yeah.
Well, I picked the Elder card, which says move beyond ancestral patterns. Well, crones are elders. We're
Yeah.
all elders in this group.
Yeah.
And we are healing our ancestral lines as we're healing ourselves in this day and age, in my opinion. I don't know that's everybody's opinion, but in my opinion, and what I
Yeah,
have channeled
agree.
the information is we are totally healing not just ourselves, but our ancestral lines. So,
Yes.
the Elder
Yeah.
card, I love that. What beautiful cards we all got.
We did. We got wonderful cards. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. We love that.
Yeah.
So,
Heck yeah.
Miss Allie, what does autumn mean to you? What do you think
Well,
of?
it's as a teacher, it probably means something different to me than it might to
Sure.
others. But it's always the beginning of a new year, a new cycle.
Hmm.
Because I was born in the autumn, it's always been my favorite time of the year. I love the leaves, I love apples and pumpkins and all that other. But it's always about going back to school. It was always anticipating going back to school, and there was a period of time when I wasn't going in the autumn, and I just was doing other things, and I always
Hmm.
felt like this pull saying,
Something was missing.
something was missing. Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
when I went back to school, of course, that was satisfied. It satisfied me at the time. And then as I finished up that work, going back and teaching every autumn, but every autumn is always a ball buster for me because I always have the most classes. If people are going to drop out of college, they're going to do it in the first semester or the first term.
So your
And
classes are packed and then they're dropping out like flies. Eek.
yeah. So it's good and bad, but
Mhm.
I always look forward to it. The only thing I don't like about it is where it leads us to, which I love winter, but you know, I don't want fall to end. So that's my story. Yeah.
Interesting. What
Yeah.
about you, Heather? What do you
Well,
Heather was a teacher, so she obviously that
I
Uh-huh.
understand that, but I was also a farmer, a farmer's
Yeah.
wife. And so I was going to approach it from the farming. And when you have autumn, you have harvest, and you also have planting for winter wheat. And
Yep.
autumn is one of the busiest times that a farmer has because you're bringing harvest in and you've got to get it in right away because if it storms or something, you could lose it. So
Right.
you drop everything else and you're out there in the fields. Uh, especially, well, we had late summer for wheat, but especially for wheat, you could really tell it because my mother-in-law would stay home and we would all have trucks and tractors and combines and things to work on during the day. And when we would come in, for instance, if I was driving a truck or whatever, we'd just flip positions around so that
Mhm.
each person got to drive the truck because you take the truck in, whoever's helping you unload unloads it while you go in, she feeds you, you get back up, and then you're back out again. You don't do anything but wake up, get to work,
Yeah.
go as long as you can, and it could be 2 o'clock in the morning if it's dry. If it gets wet, then the straw gets tough and you have to stop. But
Right.
it's one of the busiest times. And the same thing goes with corn and milo. You've
Mhm.
got to get out there. You got to get it in. You got to dump it into a truck. You got to take it to the elevators, get
Mhm.
back. So everything it's run like clockwork. And as soon as you get done getting that in, because that's what you've got to pay all your bills for the next year. That's why it's
Mhm.
so important.
Yeah, of
and
course.
then you're also preparing your fields for the next year as well, aren't
Right.
you?
And then if you have winter wheat, you have to get it into the ground and it has to have a good stand. And I mean, we used to say grandpa would lose his crop for the wheat at least 10 times every year before he actually got it in. And one of the times would be like, if it's not cold enough, the wheat won't germinate. If it's too cold, it'll freeze it to death. So
Oh,
you've got both of those things going on at the same time. And then, of course, every time it rained, it bleaches it out a little bit more so it doesn't weigh as much. If it hails, it
yeah.
knocks it out of the heads, and so you can't pick it up.
I don't think
But
I was cut out to be a farmer. My anxiety level would be too high.
I
Probably,
always,
but
I,
it is balance, and that's Libra season. So I find it fascinating. I know it goes into Scorpio as we go on, but the
Mhm.
balance that has to be kept in your
right.
harvest must be amazing. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other thing that is, I was going to say is besides losing it, uh, oh, it was something. Oh, I always used to say that the farmer, you talk about gamblers, the
Yeah.
farmer is the biggest gambler there
Of
because their
course.
whole life depends on it.
Sure.
You're running out of money at the end of the year. If you don't have anything coming in, that's it. And the first year that we were back farming, we were doing more wheat than anything else. And he
Hmm.
diversified it so that we always had something else coming in.
Hmm. Hmm.
But uh, the first year, you plant it. It takes a
Right.
whole year for it to grow. Then you
Sure.
have to leave the ground fallow, empty for the next year because otherwise you dry it
But you have
out.
to let it be fallow. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Leave
Fallow. She
leave
said
it
that. Yes.
Yes,
fallow.
it has to be
Yeah.
fallow
Yeah.
because it
Mhm.
has to collect the moisture,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
which is the reason why they keep cutting down all of the weeds.
Sure.
Otherwise, they use the moisture.
Yep.
So it's a 2-year crop. And that first year,
Yep.
I mean, Alan would work the farm, and then he'd
Hmm.
spend all night with the water wells,
Yep.
drilling
Yep.
water wells, because that's what our money was coming from. We didn't have anything for the first year,
Yeah. Yeah.
except what he earned.
Sure. Wow.
So
So
That
that's
is
really,
gambling.
like you said, Libra and balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got
That's
to
what
kind
it's
of
all about.
keep
Yeah.
it balanced.
That's
You know when
interesting.
you're going to be out.
Yeah.
Yes, it is amazing how the zodiac aligns. But they asked me if we used the Farmer's Almanac, and yeah, he'd look at it once in a while. But basically, the only thing I know of that we really did, because we had a huge garden, because that's where our food came from. I mean, you could go to the grocery store, but if you could grow it and can it, you saved a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Good Friday, according to Farmer's Almanac, and it has turned out to be that way. That's the day you plant potatoes. They do a better job. You
Yeah.
don't have
I
as
bet
many
they
bugs.
do.
It's
Mhm.
just, it's weird. So yeah, it does work. But
Did
from
you
a
ever
harvest
lose a
point of
total
view,
crop? Did you ever
huh?
have a problem where you lost a total crop, Heather? Where the whole thing was bad?
We might have one field, but we have like 11
Okay.
fields of wheat.
Okay.
And then we
Well, that's
had like six. We were a large farm, but not huge.
good.
Before
Uh-huh.
a family farm, it was large. It was enough to pay for two families because it needed to
Uh-huh.
pay for his mom and dad plus us.
Yeah. Wow.
So he would kept making it grow one way or the other. Either well, we went and diversified from all wheat to wheat and corn, got rid of the
Mhm.
milo, uh, and then we went into well, we had a cattle herd, but
Oh,
we just raised the calves and then sell off the calves. Well, we didn't. We raised the calves all the way to where they came out to take them in for the butcher. We
oh,
fed them out and took care of
okay.
them. So
Wow.
you cut out a lot of the middleman that way. And
Hmm.
again, it's another way to make money to support the two families that
Of
were there.
course. Yeah. Yeah. I
But
understand.
Yes, Annie. We both are.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a pretty good sized farm, and we also rented land.
Uh-huh.
So on top of that, so
That's awesome. So other people would be renting the land with their own crops, and you had that income coming in as well.
yeah,
Yes.
basically when you rented the land, it was normally, not always, you could cash rent it,
Uh-huh.
but basically most people, what they did was they rented it
Yeah.
and a certain percentage of the crop went to,
Right. Bartered that off. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
went to the owner.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
But the farmer paid for all the bills.
Yeah.
Whereas if you cash rented it, well, you still paid for all the bills. But sometimes they
Yeah.
went into business together. So you
Sure.
could rent it lots of different ways.
Okay.
But
Fascinating.
autumn, that was a very busy time. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we'd come out of the field and take the kids into town for Halloween,
Uh-huh.
and you stop.
Yay, Halloween. That's where I
Yeah,
come in.
usually
It's the
snowing.
crone. It's the crone time.
It's
It
the wrong
is. It
side,
is.
I
Yes.
love I love autumn. I love fall.
Uh-huh.
I was born a week on October 24th, which is a week before Halloween. So
Yeah.
when my sister heard that I was born, she said, "Oh, we've got a little witch." She was in
Little
grade
did you
school.
know.
Little did she know.
yeah.
You're absolutely right. But no, autumn is the time of the crone. Well,
Right.
most of you know that we're on a channel called the Crone Zone. So crone is dear to my heart. But
Oh,
it's just not the Wiccan crone. It's also the Hecate and Hecate and Lilith,
yeah.
all of those. And the crone was the wise woman and the counselor, and she came in and was like the queen of the harvest.
Yeah.
So very important.
Mhm.
But also, autumn to me is a time for kind of letting go of what didn't work
Mhm.
over the last year.
I like that.
Maybe sitting in gratitude for what did work,
Yep.
because
Definitely.
I think you can reflect on how you've grown over the last year. And I don't know about you guys, but every year I haven't quit growing by
We
leaps
never
and
will, but
bounds.
I don't think, because we're so curious.
Yeah, it
Don't
just
you
seems
think? Yeah.
crazy over the last
Yeah.
few years. Time
Yeah.
sped up, growth seems to be magnified on those in this type of community, which is
Mhm.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But witches and Halloween and crones and all spooky things, all so much fun in the autumn.
Yeah.
Another time to Heather said, like you're canning, you're
Yep.
putting things away for the winter. You're planting seeds for whatever you
For
want
the
to
next
manifest.
crop.
Yeah, for
Right.
the next crop, whatever you want to manifest in the next year. So I don't think it's really a time to get all excited and do things. To me, it's like, oh, light the fire, give me a cup of hot chocolate.
Yeah. Right. Time to
Yeah.
And I'm
hunker
gonna sit
down.
back and
Hunker
yeah,
down.
Because when
hunker
you're done harvesting, you rest.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's time to rest and reflect, I think.
It's just a different kind of harvest.
You're
That's
absolutely
exactly
right.
right.
I think that a lot of us who grew up as that are crones now, it was like our mothers showed us the way we were supposed to be according to her
Mhm.
lifetime. And so all of us, it was like, oh my God, here comes Thanksgiving, and we got to plan for that. We got to plan for Christmas. We got to do. We got to do. We got to do.
Absolutely.
And
My mother drove herself crazy over the holidays. Did yours?
Mine too. Mine too. Yes.
See, they didn't enjoy it.
No,
It
they
was so
said they did, but
stressful.
I don't think they did. You're right. It's
I
like,
think,
I got to make my pie. I got to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
well, I always did, but then again, I like to cook.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like about the holidays are my two major allergies, pine trees and turkey.
Oh, you're allergic to turkey? Really?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness.
I
I'm
have
so
to go
sorry.
out to dinner when I want turkey.
Uh-huh.
Or not
And
yet.
we-
Not this
Let's
year,
get
but
you turkey. We did
Yeah.
have turkey one time.
we
Uh-huh.
did. We brought it
We
in from
cooked
the
it
grocery
at
store.
somebody else's house and then brought it over. I
Okay.
just stayed away from
Yeah.
it.
Wow. Well, I'm allergic to all things like I can't eat fresh apples, apples, peaches, pears, plums. I can't. The mylar or whatever it is, the alar, I don't know what it is, but
Well,
I close my throat up.
Oh,
So
no.
That's
Who
the
needs
opposite of
that?
me. I can't have citrus, but I can have the other things.
Isn't that funny how we all are? But if you cook it, I'm okay. I can
Oh,
eat anything.
I'm
Like
not.
apple pie is not a problem. Yeah. Or
Wow.
apples. Yeah. Oh, yes, Lori, you
Laurie
are
says,
so
I'm
right.
fascinated to see what we will be next fall. Yes. The
Uh-huh.
past year have changed in ways that I had always hoped would happen for me. Oh,
Oh, that's
congratulations,
good, Lori.
I love that.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I know.
Yeah, I
That
keep
is-
changing and taking
Mhm.
more classes and learning more stuff.
Yep.
Have you
Yeah.
taken that Akashic Records class yet?
Well, yes, Val, I encouraged her to get that started. And so I
We're so glad you did.
Yeah, I facilitated helping her do it. And I'm going to do it again because
Yeah, you're doing it for the 14th class. That's the
I
one that
am.
Heather and I
And
both
my
signed up
husband
for
has
that.
agreed. My husband has asked to come to the class as well.
Cool.
And Val said yes. So he's ready to make a leap himself. So
Wow.
it's so nice to see all of us sort of aligned with, and no matter what we learn from that class, doesn't mean we necessarily have to become all of a sudden Akashic record readers and
Absolutely
nothing else.
not.
But it
I'm more
adds to
interested
our
in reading
gifts.
my own
Yeah. It adds to our gifts. It adds to our
knowledge.
knowledge base. Yeah.
In the knowledge.
Absolutely does.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't ever want to quit learning. I don't
Oh,
want to
no.
quit learning. I have to
No.
learn all the time.
Well,
It's,
yeah.
I
And
think
that's
my
why we're
addiction is
alive.
to learning.
Yes.
That's our whole purpose, isn't it?
It is.
To experience. That's what we
Absolutely.
came here for, to experience.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry I leaned forward and looked down, but the dog is between my feet and I thought I hit her. So,
Oh, no.
so I was looking to make sure I didn't hurt her.
Yeah.
My poor puppy, her bed wasn't in here, and she went back to her room. She said, "I'm not staying. Hard floor."
Hardcore.
Oh.
She doesn't like that at all.
Uh-huh.
So, what else about fall do you think is important?
I always, as a kid, loved the way the leaves changed.
Mhm.
But
know,
I lived,
especially in the Northeast.
I grew up on Maplewood Avenue in Maplewood,
Oh,
and the whole tree, I mean, the
Yep.
whole street was maples. Once
Yes.
in a while, we'd have an oak, but otherwise it was maple. So, you know,
We
how
didn't
it
have maple
went.
trees in Texas. No such thing.
Yeah, but you can imagine how the
Yeah.
street
Beautiful.
just,
I
it
can.
just changed.
And I grew up in New England, so
Did you?
Right,
you know,
so you know it.
yeah, all the changing of the leaves, especially when I was at college, because it was further up toward Canada. It was a crispy air and football. I mean, I'm not a sports person, but it was all
No,
that
but I
outside
know.
stuff.
And I was always surprised that even birch trees, their leaves change.
They do.
Everything changes, and it's just it's fun to watch. And we did so many things.
Did you have a big leaf pile that you used to jump into, Heather?
We had a big leaf pile, but we weren't allowed to jump in it.
You weren't, because
it was
too messy.
We had a corner property. Clean it up.
I get it.
I love this. There's so many great comments. I can't put these all up, but they are so great.
You know what's really beautiful about the fall with the leaves and so on is that we admire the artistry that the Earth Mother gives us. It's like the Earth has painted these beautiful flowers and leaves, and even the mums that come out in the fall that you have on you, they don't last long, but there's something about it that just brings us alive with color. And reminds us that life isn't black and white. It's all kinds of shades.
Right. All sorts of colors. And the thing is, we were in Scouts, and my mom would heat up just, paraffin.
Yeah.
And you would dip the leaves in there and cover them, and they would not change color. They'd be that way.
Oh, that's cool.
So you decided to throw them away.
Yeah.
So that you could make whatever you wanted with them.
Make things out of them.
Have the colors.
Yeah, I agree. So did you have any projects that you would start as you started into the fall that may go into the winter? Like, did you knit, or did you read a stack of books, or did you have things that you like to do that you couldn't really get outside as much? So you kind of
read. I was a prolific reader. I would go in the living room by the fireplace and sit in a chair, comfy chair, and read for days.
Yeah, I like to read, but you've got too much to do that has to be done. So I did quilting, I did embroidery, I did Christmas stuff. Like my son has it, but I made a Christmas tree skirt, and it has beads and sequins and little pieces of felt that you sew it on. And I did that with the Christmas stockings too for everybody. They had their own Christmas stockings. So
God,
I'm not that good at that kind of thing, but I went out and would buy sweatshirts or shirts, and I would buy the iron-on Christmas, and I'd have everybody, all decked out for Christmas. And it was fun. It was always in the fall. It was just probably before Thanksgiving, though. Yeah.
I used to have a couple shirts that had a lot of sequins on. I loaned one out and never got it back, but that's okay. I still have one.
Somebody else liked it better.
They asked if they could borrow it, but I never got it back.
I get it.
It's probably in Texas.
Yeah.
It went from Key West to Texas and stayed there.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So I would say that, I would try to start some craft things more in the fall season. When my friend was with me, she was with me for 5 weeks, and we just had the best time doing all kinds of different things. But I was always reticent about ever either making a picture or painting or anything in my notebooks that I write in, because I'm a prolific notebook taker. And this year I actually got out watercolors, and
fun.
Not too bad. I mean, I'm not Picasso, but it was fun.
I used to sketch. I would sketch while I was taking notes in class too.
Yeah,
so
that's good. Yeah,
sometimes did portraits, thumbnail portraits of the teacher.
Sure. And I see Annie did giveaway a few times a year. What I really love is when I go through my closet and I say, how long ago did I wear this? And it wasn't just because I gained some weight. It was like, I'll never wear it again, probably. And gather up those things that I don't use and give them to the thrift store. And my sense of...
I've actually been doing that sort of thing.
Don't you feel like a lighter?
Yes, it feels so much lighter and freer. Since Heather moved out, I've gone through one end of the house to the other because it was already in an uproar. So why not take care of it?
Yeah.
Room by room.
Yeah.
In this room, the studio, there's 2 twin beds with baskets under it, and this was the last room to get the baskets that were against the
Sure.
wall. And there
Uh-huh.
was some water damage on the wall, so I'm having them painted and stuff. But every
Yeah.
room has gotten cleaned and painted, and
It's like you've cleaned the space. You've made room for more.
for more.
And
Yeah.
we tend to be stagnant if we don't do that. And I think the fall
Yeah.
and the spring, of course, if possible.
Yeah,
Well,
I get the
the
bug
heat
every
won't-
so often. I just have to,
I
and
get it.
because my house is so small, I live in a Key West conch house, and
Uh-huh.
it's only 1,000 square feet,
Yeah.
and I have one closet in my bedroom. So if I buy new clothes, something's got to go because
Yeah.
there's just no room.
Yeah.
and
And
I was
Heather, your closet's full.
right, not my
I
fault.
emptied my closet into your closet,
Now
and
she has
both
a little more
closets
room.
are
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I was going to say when I was had the kids and everything, it was Northwest Kansas, and there was it was volunteer work, but they would get a little building, and you would take in clothes, especially for the kids that they'd outgrown but they're still good. Take them in. They didn't pay for them. They didn't do anything for it. And then we'd go find the sizes that fit them, and we'd just take them. So it
Yeah.
was always
Right.
just an exchange of what everybody had. So it didn't cost anybody anything.
There you go.
I
And it's
actually
new to
saw
someone
one
else.
Yeah, I saw one outfits of Scotty's,
Uh-huh.
and it must have been a fantastic. Well, it was, but it was like had a white shirt, and it was still pristine white after I'd seen it on 4 different sets of kids. And it was still white. I'm going,
It was wow.
still white. I mean, no
Wow.
matter how many times I washed it, it came out bright, bright white. And evidently, it did it for everybody because, like I said, I'd seen it on 4 different sets of kids, and it was still a bright white shirt. Like, okay. Had green
That's funny.
shorts to go with it, but they were called
Uh-huh.
frogs.
That's awesome, though. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
No,
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I go, wow.
When
That's-
I
But
was in
those
grade
clothes, they served their purpose.
Sure,
When I
they
was
did.
in grade
You got
school-
you got mileage out of them. Yeah.
We all
Mhm.
shared clothes growing up. All the kids
Uh-huh.
in my grade school, we had a thing called the bargain box that all of our mothers would take
Oh.
used clothing to, and then you'd go in and buy clothes. I mean, get your buy some
Yeah.
used clothes. There were 5 kids in my family. By the time they got down to the youngest one, I guarantee you that nobody was going to be able to wear those. But I
Right.
wore my older sister's stuff, some of my brother's stuff.
Sure.
We all
Yeah.
did that growing up.
See, I didn't have that. I was like an only child. My brothers were already out of the house by the time
Right.
I was in elementary school. So
Right.
it was like I was the only one. But I knew families that did that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but think about it. When did you do that? Just before school.
True that.
True. It
In
was
the
always, right before school.
Yeah,
Yep.
in the autumn.
Yeah, we would go to the mills. We had beautiful mills, shoe mills and clothing mills,
Oh, wow.
sweaters and stuff. And you would go up there right before school started, and you would get your skirt, your little skirt and sweater
Mhm.
tops, and they were discounted because you were in the mill. They were
Right.
usually sent out to nice places, like
Sure.
Jordan Marsh at the time and other places. But you'd be so excited to wear them. I remember one year I had this bright pink sweater with a pink and brown sort of plaid skirt, and I had these granny shoes that were what I call granny shoes because they had a heel on them, and you tied them, and they looked something like a granny would wear in the 30s. And I remember wearing it to school and being so happy, and it was so hot because we had that what is it, the autumn summer, whatever you call it, the late autumn
Yeah.
summer. And I'd get home and my hair would be all, whoa, and
What
So it
is
was a
that
little bit
called, you
too early.
guys? That
what
late
is that called? I
summer.
can't remember.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. Well,
I can't
It's-
believe we.
No.
I can't remember what it is.
Oh, chat room, help us. These Indian summer.
Indian
Thank
summer,
you,
you're right.
J.O.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, J.O. Thank you. Yes, Indian
Indian
summer.
summer.
Perfect.
I could not think of that to save my life.
Neither could I. Yeah, no. Hi, Glow. Hi, Michelle. Oh, your grandma wore granny shoes, Wildflower Wind. Well, it was popular again in the 70s. So I had a pair.
Granny shoes were definitely popular in the 70s. I
Yes.
remember.
Hmm. They weren't the most comfortable things, but they were surely better than the platform heels we ended up wanting to wear
That's
much
true.
later in that decade.
I went to a girls' school, and I had a uniform, and we had those old saddle Oxfords.
Oh, yes.
We had to wear saddle Oxfords. They
Yeah.
each weighed 5 pounds. They were ridiculously
Yeah.
heavy.
And
Yeah.
I hated them. But I
Did
had
you
I
have to
didn't
wear?
too, but we had to wear them.
Did you have to wear bobby socks as well with them?
We had to wear socks. We didn't have to wear bobby socks.
Okay.
yeah.
We did.
We
That's what they
had to
were.
wear nylons.
I just got the nylon. I got it the thinnest I could get. The only reason I had the saddle shoes is because they're wider than anything else. And they were still weren't wide enough for my foot.
Yeah, they were like
but
wearing the
I could
speed
get my
box.
foot in them. And then 2 days later, the nurse says, your shoes are too tight, and
Yeah.
sends home a note to my mom.
Like that's going to do any good. Yeah. But
It
your feet
didn't.
are all
I still wore
blistered. Yeah, I get it. I went to it wasn't a private academy, but it was called a private academy. And we had a very strict dress code. Girls
Yeah.
had to wear dresses in nylons, and boys had to wear a tie.
Wow.
And if you didn't, you had to wear one of the principal's ties that was really outlandish, and the boys, would
It
never do that.
embarrassed you.
But it was really awful because that was when the mini skirt was in, and so we'd go up. I'd be walking up the hill in the winter in my nylons and my thin little mini skirt, and I got chapped legs
Heck
from
yes,
that.
you would.
It wasn't until my high school years
Uh-huh.
that we could wear anything like a pantsuit.
Oh, you're right.
At that time, you wore skirts and blouses or
Yeah,
dresses.
you couldn't wear pants
You
in my
couldn't
high
wear
school.
pants.
Oh.
You could wear pants underneath the skirt, but you
Okay.
couldn't have a skirt.
My mother I used to do that when I was in elementary school. She'd make me wear a dress and I'd be cold. So I'd wear corduroys under my skirt. And
Corduroys keep you warm, that's for sure. I haven't seen corduroy in years.
I just bought
It's
a
beginning to
corduroy
come back. I've seen
jumper.
it in some places.
Yeah, I just bought a corduroy jumper, and it's
Must
just
be
mostly
coming
for the
back.
nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's really
It
a
really
warm
looks better
material
than I
for winter.
remember it looking.
Yeah.
It's a good material to wear in the wintertime.
With a
Yeah.
turtleneck. Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Although I can't stand anything around my neck.
Oh, no.
No.
Do you think you had a past life?
I could wear the mock. Probably. I'm sure it does have to do with the past life because I can wear the mock one, but I can't wear the.
Because it's lower. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not as tight.
Uh-huh.
Like I won't wear skinny jeans because I can't stand the tightness of.
Oh, I can't either. No, I can't
Can't
either. I have to
stand
have
it.
freedom. I always buy pants one size bigger because I can't
Exactly.
fit right in.
Exactly.
No. So what
By the
kind
time
of
I get rid of
foods-
them, they're falling off of me because they're too big. But
Oh, yeah.
that's how I
Yeah,
like
get
them.
it. Yep. What about foods that you love to make and eat that you might not have made?
Spaghetti.
Oh, you made more
Spaghetti is a fall one for me. Chili.
Yeah.
And stew, of course, beef stew,
Stew.
and chicken and dumplings.
Oh, there you go. That's your southern
and
roots. That's
dumplings.
my husband.
That's the southern in me.
Yeah, we like shepherd's pie.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
And
I was
my
married
mother
to an
was-
Englishman. I had to make
okay,
shepherd's pie
then
a
you
lot.
know. And my mother was Welsh, and so she would make Yorkshire pudding. Did you ever have that?
I never made it.
Okay.
Didn't David make Yorkshire pudding one time, Heather?
I think you're right. I think you did.
I think I remember him making it.
It's
and
like
it
a
was-
souffle.
yeah,
And so
they're
you got
delicious.
like my mother put
Or a
sausage
popover.
links.
Mother used
Yeah,
to call them
popovers.
popovers.
Yeah. And they'd have
Yeah, we
my
used to
mother
do
would put
that.
sausage links in, and then she'd say, "Everybody, come eat now!" Run in there, and because she didn't want it to fall, and she wanted us to enjoy it before it fell, even though
Yeah.
the taste was the same. But yeah,
Tastes the same exactly, but oh my god, it's so delicious.
I know.
So what are yours? What are some of your favorites?
Well, I love the. My mother made this thing called cranberry swirl coffee cake, and actually last
Yum.
Christmas, Katie, the dream detective Katie that works with me, she sent me one for Christmas that she found that somebody made.
Aww.
And it was such a sweet gift because she heard me talk about it. But cranberries were very, very big because I was from near Massachusetts where they
We only had
cranberries.
cranberries
lots of
at
them.
Christmas
Yeah.
or Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hate cranberry juice. I don't like it, the flavor of it, but I really loved cranberry breads.
Me
And she
too.
would, yeah, and she would make
I'll
date
leave
nut
those to
bread.
you. Cranberries don't like me.
Oh no,
Orange and cranberries, my favorite.
I know.
Scone at
Cranberries, I'm allergic
Starbucks.
I
So
get
I
it.
said the holidays are not great for me.
Okay, okay. Jo says plain cake donuts in the dark apple cider, but you know what else, Jo?
Yum.
Apple cider donuts.
I've never had that.
Oh, you're missing out, girl.
Apple
You gotta
cider
find it.
donut. I've never even
I
heard
like
of
apple
that.
cider.
You'd
I
love
do
these
like apple
donuts.
cider,
It
but I've
looks
never
like
heard of it.
plain donut, but it tastes like apple cider. It's got sugar on it. Very good.
Yum.
Yeah.
It is definitely root vegetable season.
Definitely.
You betcha.
Yes.
Squash and pumpkin pie and squash pie.
Dig up all the potatoes and put them in the cellar for the winter.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, Andrea at 54, your mom would make your dresses for every holiday. How much fun is that? Oh,
I used to do that when the kids were small.
Uh-huh.
And then
My
they
mother
got
did too.
thinking, and there was no more time to just sit there and do it.
Oh.
But they'd tell me what they want, and I said, well, let's find a picture.
Oh my
And then we'd go
God.
ahead and make whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yes, we have great donuts here, Amanda. You're absolutely right.
Celtic Sear, you're making me hungry with oatmeal cookies in the oven.
Oh
Yum.
my God. And
When I was
orange and
thinking of
cranberry
doing-
muffins. I love those too, Marilla. Yes.
Orange
muffins.
cranberry's my favorite. Bread, muffins, scone, you name. I'm there. I wonder if Starbucks has those right now. It should be. It's autumn,
Soon.
right?
Right now they have an apple popover. You notice I know
Ooh.
this. And they have they have the pumpkin bread and they have some other stuff, but yeah.
I'm not into the pumpkin stuff.
No. Okay. That's
I don't
okay.
know why. I like the pumpkin bread. Okay. Pumpkin coffee. No, thank you.
I've
Really?
made one
Yeah, I
pumpkin
just want a
pie that was
soy
just
latte.
absolutely great, and I can't find that recipe anymore.
What's that?
Really?
A pumpkin pie, but it was almost like a chiffon, but it was just absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
I do like
Alan
pumpkin
loved
pie.
it. Everybody loved it, but I can't find the recipe for
I
it.
get it. I get
That
it.
sucks.
Wow. Yeah. I
What
know.
else do you like in the fall, Heather?
In the fall,
Yeah, winter. What kind of winter warm food do you like? Meatloaf. She makes one hellacious
I make
meatloaf.
meatloaf. As
Oh my
far as
God.
the fall goes, since I was always cooking, it really didn't matter because I have cooked for the family since I was in 5th grade,
Uh-huh.
or a little bit before that. My mom was not a cook.
Did you ever do you use the crock pot at all?
Once in
Not
a
anymore.
while.
No.
Once in a while. I generally no.
When I was going to work and having
When
to
I
leave
worked,
and
I
come home,
used one.
I would come home to the most wonderful smell of soup,
Smells.
barley and lentils. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Barley, good
there
barley
were a lot
soup
of
and
things
cornbread.
that I
Yum.
would just put in the oven and just leave, and
Yeah.
it would be
Okay.
fine.
It would be
And
great.
they cook differently than the crock pot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I hear you. My
Yeah.
husband does that with baked beans in the oven.
Yeah, in
And
the oven.
if you go out and come in later, it's like, oh my God, you got to have a bowl right now. Yeah.
And I would
I've
make
never baked beans in the oven.
yeah.
No.
Oh, I have. And I would make lots of dishes that you could make up in advance because of the harvest and
Uh-huh.
take them down to my mother-in-law because it wasn't right that she had to cook for all of us.
Right.
So I would make up big dishes.
Aren't you a
and
nice
take them
daughter-in-law?
down,
Yeah.
and she could just throw one in.
Yep.
Well, she did most
Oh,
of
yes.
the
Roxy, I hope you
that
have
way,
plenty of
at least
food now.
once in a while she could not have to cook.
Right. Right.
So
My mother-in-law was like that. When I met her, I only knew her for, maybe 2 or 3 years because she was older and I was older. But she was always in the kitchen cooking. And everybody would come in, eat, and leave. And then she'd clean it all up. And I said, no. You're not going to do that with me around. I will not have it. She didn't want me in there doing it, though. And I said, Mom, that's
People
tough.
like that for sure.
well,
That's
that's what happened during harvest.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
everybody understood it was going to be that way. because everybody was out in the field working.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so it's when you get home, you want to eat. You don't want to think about what you're going to eat, especially for you.
That's true.
Working outside. Because you get a big appetite being out in the air like that and doing that work for a long time. Sure.
Even if it is 103 at the time.
That's right.
There is a breeze. You always keep water.
Well, I'll take my corporate job over farmer any day of the week.
Well, I will say,
because I could come home to my crock pot.
Corn harvest is much more cold. And a lot of times it got to where, because she got older, we would just go into town and pick up stuff. And when they're driving whatever vehicle they are doing, whether it's tractor or grain cart or combine or whatever, you just ate while you were going.
Sure. So, I never realized that Canada, first of all, had a Thanksgiving, but I also never realized how much earlier that Thanksgiving was than our thing until I started really being on here with a lot of Canadian people. And I like when they have theirs much better than when we have ours, because it's you
too
get more
close to
time
Christmas.
Yeah, it's too close. It's
too close. It's just one thing after another.
Yeah,
and it's
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mother used to make soup, but she also used to make turkey tetrazzini after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I have no idea how to make it, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You can find a good recipe for that, Priscilla, but you might want to have people come over to eat.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's a lot.
I made chili the other day, and it took 2 pounds of meat. So guess what? I've been giving chili away.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, for the recipe for turkey tetrazzini, check Julia Child.
I think that was the recipe she used, actually, Julia Child.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Because she and her best friend were Julia. They were going through the cookbook.
Yep.
Kind of like that movie. But that's what my mom and her friend did. They went through that cookbook.
Well, it's a way to your heart. Mary, my husband loves pinto beans, cornbread. He doesn't like collards, but pinto beans.
I'm not into collard greens, but I love pinto beans and cornbread. And you know how, you're not going to believe this, but cornbread warmed up with buttermilk on top of it is delicious. My great aunt used to do that. And to this day, I have to go if I have any corn muffins around, I have to get some buttermilk and have it like that.
Yeah.
Not your most nutritious meal, but it's delicious.
No, but I think a lot of it brings you back to, some people were saying different era here for them, and that's understandable. Maybe it's more your mother's era that you grew up in, because you're still a maiden, you're not quite a crone yet. But it's the idea of whenever you smell these things, whenever you are imbibing, I guess is the best word. It's comfort, and it brings you back to that feeling you had when you were a kid and you didn't have anything to do with, no responsibilities.
Just to get to eat it and go play.
Yeah.
I'll tell you an interesting story about comfort. It's not food necessarily, but when I met my husband in England, he smelled like cigarettes and coffee, which was my comfort for my father. Now imagine cigarettes and coffee smelling good to you. At this point, not a chance in hell. But at that point, my dad was a coffee drinker and a smoker. And he had died. And when I met my husband, he smelled like my father for about 2 months. Then it went away.
Okay.
But I knew because of that comfort that he was the one.
It's very interesting you say that, because my father was a Gemini. My husband is a Gemini. And this is the number 4.
My father was a Leo and my husband was a Leo.
All right. But mine's number 4. So I've been through all
number
the others. 2. Okay. But he started smoking a pipe, cherry blend. That was my dad. And today I was talking to him, and he was sitting there and he was doing something with his hands that my dad used to do. Wow. I don't know how to explain it any other way. Just the
I know
way
what you mean.
Yeah. And it is very, he makes me very comfortable. My father was extremely comforting to me. A lot of people.
Mine was too.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people don't have that with their dad. Their dad was.
Not when I was younger, but when I got older, we were very close. And it was when he died, it was my world fell apart.
I
I
understand.
mean, my world
I
just
get it.
disintegrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's lucky that I found David after after that, because I think he saved me.
I do believe people are brought and given to us to save us, and we do that for others as well. I really do.
Well, we did it for each other, I think.
Yeah,
It
which is always
was
nice.
mutual.
No,
But-
my dad was in the TB hospital while I was a little girl, so he abandoned me. Not really, but
I know that feeling
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. And
My
when he
father was
came out,
a pilot, so he was gone all
oh
the
my
time.
God,
He
sure, he's
abandoned
gone
me.
all the time. Yeah.
And it just took one day for me to feel like my dad abandoned
Really?
me, but it was the same day every year.
Oh, your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never home.
Never home.
Always with his father.
Okay. Okay. But my dad and I, he couldn't work for a long time because of that. So he and I we'd go to Woolworths and sit at the lunch bar, and then we'd go buy me a book. So I had my brothers used to say, you had a different dad than we did.
Sure.
Even though, but my dad was like almost 40 years old when I came around. So we had that bond right from the very get-go. But a lot of people, even my own daughter and my son, they don't feel close to their dads at all. And it's hard. I feel bad for them, but everybody has chosen whatever it is that they had to for their lessons.
That's it. It's our contracts.
It's our contract.
It's our contracts.
But it still makes me sad that people can't have them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I buried my first husband this summer. He didn't have anybody, so my daughter went and got his ashes, and
God bless you for that.
God bless you. Couldn't do anything else.
I know.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't believe I'm having to do this for you, but okay. It must be something in a contract.
It's dead and buried now. See, it's dead and buried.
All done. It was a wonderful trip, and my daughter and I got time to bond without anybody else around. We spent about 2 weeks together.
Wonderful.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. There are no accidents.
There really aren't. So I thank him. Thanks for dying, because then I got to spend time with Jennifer, but she never got to know him. He lived in Mexico most of the time, and
that had to upset you.
It did.
Yeah, sure.
It did. And it upset me for her. But my father became very much her father. He was around a lot.
My father was my daughter's father.
Yeah, I get it. Kind of like Alan's best friend was another dad when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, I agree with you, Marilla. Priscilla, you'll get it back tenfold, but you already have see. So yeah.
I did. I don't regret it. I don't resent it. Just at the moment, it was like, I can't believe it. What is this karma? What is going on? You have to think about all the reasons that this is happening. But it was fine. Like I said, I got to
think about it only here. Well, we think here, we think, oh, geez, do we have to revisit this? But really, our heart's telling us, this is the closure you always needed with this person, probably. So it's amazing. Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah, sure. And we got White Dragon here today. How wonderful.
Hey, White Dragon.
Hi, White
He's
Dragon.
a new granddaddy. He just had a granddaughter.
Well, congratulations.
Beautiful little girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I know. It's very exciting.
Really wonderful. Yeah. All right. So what did you have to say here, Celtic Seer? Something happened. Oh, the rain. Oh, you're lucky it happened at the end of the week. A lot of cleanup. Brooklyn was hit. Yes, I saw the rain in New York.
What is going on in New York? The tunnels are flooded and everything?
Well, if you've got water in the streets, it should go straight down to the tubes.
Of course it would.
Yeah.
Wow.
But think of it as a cleansing. I know that's a dangerous way to get the cleansing. But
it is, but it is a cleansing. But
it is a cleansing.
Our hearts go out to all those people affected.
Absolutely. I wouldn't. I certainly don't.
Sending love and light to all of those
people. Make light of it in any way. No. Yeah.
Wow. So, does anybody in the chat have any questions for us?
How's autumn feel to you?
Yeah.
What makes it special for you?
Yeah, tell us what makes
Hi,
autumn
Carolyn.
special to you guys. And the full moon, so the flood, yeah,
Uh-huh.
true.
Oh, Froxy, you found the spreading of ashes is a more spiritual experience than a typical. Oh, absolutely. You're
Absolutely.
absolutely right. And a
We actually,
celebration of life instead of a funeral. Yeah.
it is. We took his ashes and spread them on his mother and stepfather's grave,
Uh-huh. Okay. So
which
there you
I
go.
think is was probably not
David is all
necessarily
over
what they
the
want you to
world.
do, but
Yeah,
Doesn't
David
matter.
is out all over the world.
yeah. And my husband's ashes we put in the ocean here. We took
Okay.
a boat out and put them in the
Yeah.
flats where he
I'm
liked to go
told that
fishing.
releasing them is vital. That they don't want to be sitting on your all on your shelf or something. Same with animals.
I
They
still have
want to
those
go.
too.
Well, they
I
all
have some on
together.
my in my closet shelf. I brought my
Okay.
cat back from England with me, a cat and a dog. They
Okay.
lived in Texas for 20 years, and when David died, they went out in the ocean with him. I put all the ashes I
Good for
had
you.
of all the animals that had died,
I did that
and
this summer. I
it was
found a
in a
little area.
little,
Yep.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was in a paper mache turtle,
Biodegradable turtle.
biodegradable turtle. I filled it up and sent them off.
That's
And
awesome.
then my daughter and my family were all around.
That's great.
Heather being part of my family, we were
Of
all out on the boat
course. Of
together. It was
course she
fun.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it really
I
felt
just
good.
It does feel good. I had my little dogs in different places, and I said they don't deserve to be left in here. They need to all be together. And so
Yeah,
I put together a little place outside with little
lovely.
fairies and angels, and I just left them there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
Mhm.
I lost my 20-year-old cat a couple of months ago. Well,
Oh, you
probably
did.
3 or 4 months ago. So I've got her ashes to spread out in the garden because she loved being out in the garden.
Oh.
And she'd been a house cat for years and years and years,
But
but
she loved being outside.
Uh-huh.
she would even watch the airplanes go over. She would sit on her little pillow on the
Perch.
back
Yeah.
porch and just go as
Ooh.
they just like, what cat watches
I
airplanes?
know.
Because
That's
I
all.
live on a little island, an airplane is
Uh-huh.
you can't get away from airplanes.
There's
Oh
no
no.
They go
such thing as get
directly
away from
over
the
our
news of
house.
the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just get
Airport's
used to it.
close to everything. So
I know. So Wildflower says that she loves the cooler fall weather, and so did Christine. She loves it too. I agree with you. I like putting on a sweater. I
me
don't like
too.
having to wear a heavy coat with a hat and mittens and all that. I don't, and snow.
But
I'm not into
a fall
sweat.
sweater
A
is
fall
just
sweater
nice.
or
You
a
always
blazer.
needed a sweater that opened up so you could take it off.
That's right. And you
Because
can
by
wear
the
it around
middle
your
of the
waist.
afternoon, it was warm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Carolyn, that's cool. Your dog's ashes are going to be mixed with yours and buried at the Veterans Cemetery. Well, I like that.
Well, that's
I
nice.
like that.
Yeah. Hi, Scorpio Mama. Celtic Seer, she's a fall person. Oh, we haven't had any questions, Scorpio Mama. I don't know if you want to answer any questions or do any readings. I don't know.
What time is it?
It's
We've only
53
got about 8
It's
minutes.
almost an
8
hour.
minutes. Yeah. Yeah. We could do another poll for the collective if
We
you want.
definitely need to pull a card for the collective.
Okay.
It does it. That's always fun.
Always fun. Yeah.
Hey, Warrior Girl.
Yay! Hi,
Tina
Warrior
M.
Girl. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
I know.
Throw
Nice to
cards
see
everywhere.
everybody. And Carolyn Booker, I did see you, and I know Peter's there, so hello and thank you. Oh, Amanda, you love your boots. Good for you. When I met Amanda, she and I live in the same area, and we met
How
a couple of
fun.
weeks ago, and she had the most beautiful moccasins on. Ooh, they were so
Ooh.
they look so comfortable.
I love moccasins. They're so
My
Mhm.
card
comfortable.
is appropriate.
Yeah.
It's the 4 of autumn.
Oh, look at that.
Anyway, it says manage your resources wisely, which is what you're doing in the autumn. You're getting things ready. Achieve a balance in how you spend and save money, and help out those who are less fortunate.
Perfect. Oh my God. So who do I get? I get Mother Mary.
Wow.
Self-love, self-love. Mary, I'm not Catholic, so I didn't grow up learning all about Mother Mary, but I do know that she had very special powers. She is the ultimate mother. And so take time to mother yourself. We don't, we can do that. We have the ability. If our own physical mothers have passed on, they're always around us, of course, but we can also mother ourselves in self-care and not worry about it. It's not selfish to do that.
Yes, I think that's so important for people to realize these days. You're not being selfish by taking time for yourself. You need
You
to
want to take a
time
nap?
for
Take a
yourself.
damn nap. That's right.
I love afternoon naps.
Me too.
And I feel old enough I can have an afternoon nap whenever I want. So I indulge often.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does give me a second wind. So I like it. Well, I
I
got
get it.
the drum for dreaming and journeying to uncover insights and information that's important to our paths. Then we need to follow the guidance. In the four corners of the world, the drum is recognized as the main tool used by medicine women and men to direct their will and aid meditation. I love drums. I love drumming.
Have you ever been in a drum circle before?
Absolutely. Many
And
times.
how about you, Heather? Have you been in one?
Once.
Once. Okay.
Just once.
So it's my very favorite thing to do. And
it
it's
just
like the
sends you off
heartbeat.
on another plane.
Yeah, it's the heartbeat of the world.
It is.
When in October, which reminds me so much, in October of 1992, I was living in Panhandle, Florida, and we went up to a little bit higher than Birmingham. We drove up through Alabama because I had to go for some training there.
Mhm.
And Sun Bear and his people were having a huge get together right in the woods right above that. So I
powwow.
drove. Oh my God. Just the energy and the drumming and the dancing and everything. My father transitioned that weekend. And it was so powerful. I felt like I was
Wow.
with everybody that I needed to have with me at that time. And it was autumn. It
beautiful.
was just beautiful because he
Wow.
died, I think it was October 29th or something like that. But it was still the fall. It was still the fall. So, yeah.
I'm very happy to find something here. I haven't, so far I just have to look online for anything because they don't have like a paper of what's going on.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't have anything like that. So
Yeah.
I just looking around to see what's around.
I know you're going to find something.
Oh, you will.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will. I will.
Especially in where you are. It's
Denver's just got
who else is
amazing
there?
things to do.
I don't know if you know her, but Kelly,
Which Kelly?
Kelly works with Medium Kim and I. She's the mystic next door. And
I don't think I'm familiar with her.
You're not familiar with Kelly?
I
She
don't
lives in
think I am
Colorado.
either.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Her show is called Kelly Scarborough is her name.
I've heard that name. Okay.
Yes, and she's called the Mystic Next Door, and she does the angel readings with Kim and Alice L and I. And
Cool.
she lives in Colorado, and I bet she could. I don't know what part. So again,
what was her last name again?
Scarborough, Scarborough. Not related.
Yeah, I was writing everything down, but
No.
I hadn't gotten her last name.
That's okay. That's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You might know some people.
Thank you, Celtic Seer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to check her out.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
The only thing that I've really noticed so far is that the ground shakes a lot, but nobody else feels it.
Oh, well, that shouldn't surprise you one bit.
That's right.
You know who else lives down there? Celtic Sheila.
Oh, she does.
She lives in Colorado Springs, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So you're saying Kelly lives probably in Denver, near Denver, Amanda? Is that where you are? Near Denver? Heather?
She's in Denver.
I'm in Denver.
You're in Denver.
I'm in the Capitol Hill section.
Capitol Hill part of Denver.
Which is right in the middle.
Meant to be. Meant to be.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Capitol building is a block and a half away.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. So last night I was teasing her because her birthday is today. And she was on my birthday show. And I said, can I switch? because she's very young. To me, she looked like she was in her 30s. I mean, you can't tell anymore, you know? And I said, would you switch ages with me? And she said, well, I can't because I'm going to be 59 and I really don't want to be any older yet. And I said, that's okay. So, you know, she's in that Crone-dom thing.
Hey,
as
once
well.
you hit
Just
50, you're a
beginning to
crone.
be a crone.
Yeah.
They're baby cronettes.
Well,
Yeah.
my daughter's a Crone.
She's
She's
over
almost
50.
36.
That makes her a crone.
So when's your next show, Allie?
I actually have a show this evening with Jeff Tarot Ask Back Wards. And then tomorrow, coming fresh from her class this afternoon, will be Val Kay and Jean, who will be doing my Sunday Speaking to Spirits. So yeah, we always have fun with that. Yeah.
That's great. Well, we have the Crone Zone on Monday.
Good.
And then I don't remember what the Tuesday show's about.
It's about imagination.
There you go. It's about the imagination.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And its place in spirituality.
Yeah.
Yes. That's wonderful.
It just went out of my brain for the minute.
Everybody, I don't know if you saw it, but people were saying how much they love the color of your hair, Priscilla. It really is always, it's very you.
It's overtone and it's super cheap. Well, I have white hair. It's white, just white.
It's been
and my maiden name was Whitehead, believe it or not.
Okay.
But Pantone,
prematurely white.
Overtone is it's like a gel conditioner.
Oh.
And it comes in every color you can imagine. And it's vegan. And it's really healthy for your hair as far as I can tell. I've been using it for about a year and a half. But every color you can under the rainbow. It's amazing. And it even colors for brown hair. It'll work for brown hair. In fact, a Chinese friend of mine was here recently and her roots were showing. So she used the deep purple on her black hair and it looked gorgeous.
Oh, good. Okay.
So isn't that interesting how it works? It's crazy.
It is. Wow.
Well, I just want to thank you for being here with us today. And let's not wait so long next time.
No, we won't wait so long. You got to come over to my channel and I'll send out something so you can, because I love being with you ladies. And thank you to everybody in the chat. They've been wonderful. Sorry we made you all really hungry.
They made me hungry. Thanks for being here, chat. We love you guys so much. And appreciate each and every one of you, and especially when you talk to us. We love the
we love it.
Have a great rest of your weekend. We love you. Go out and shine your light and
include
self-love. A little self-love too. And we'll see you next time. So bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.